Hey everyone, it's Benny here, and in this video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting up the first part of the screen, and we're also going to be setting up one bit of memory for every pixel on the screen to tell whether the pixel should be on or it should be off. So, in the last video, we already set up this nice big giant control structure that's going to convert our X commands into draw and erase commands that the memory can understand. So let's go ahead and just start building the memory based on this. This is where the erase command was, this is where the draw command was, so I'm going to start with the erase command because it's the easiest. Piston, block, that's the erase command. And, yeah. And now I just need to make the draw command. Now I will need two repeaters here to not screw up the piston. But so that's just a casualty from the delay. And now, what I need to do is I'm going to do like this. And these two repeaters will actually be the memory. The way this is going to work is if power goes through here and the piston is extended, then it's going to complete a infinite circuit, and thus this will always stay on. But if power goes through and this piston's off, then as soon as the power turns back off, it's going to stay off. That's the whole reason this works, and I will need to do like this. And I'm going to put a torch here. And this was the torch actually going to power the screen. So now, what I'm going to do is actually just going to build a straight row along here. And the reason for this is that I will need to stagger this slightly. I'm actually just going to go ahead and set up the second set of rows. And the reason I'm going to need to stagger this like this is because otherwise it doesn't tile correctly, so this is just purely for tileability purposes. It's the only way that I can make the memory fit in an area this small. And yeah, so just gonna go ahead and do like this, and that should be everything. There are all of our erase commands nicely set up for us, so we don't have to worry about them. And you know what, why not? I'm going to go ahead and cheat a bit, and just... Oh, there's technically no cheating in building stuff like this, but oh well. Just gonna fill in a straight area that for me to work on, so I don't have to keep filling stuff in. So now, what I need to do is this is where it's going to be empty. So this is where my memory is going to be set up, and this is where my output will be. And this should tile, but I'm just going to do it by hand, and the reason I'm doing it by hand is because I really don't want to screw anything up. Really, that's the main reason. And so, repeater here, and there we go. So now, next one, this one's going to be staggered again. So I think it's going to go all the way up to here. Go back. And no, there's no going to be red. No redstone. Can't talk. There should not be any redstone there, okay? That's good. So we got the first half of the memory set up. Almost there, just need to... In case you haven't noticed, this isn't going to be the most exciting part of this video. And I really probably could tile some of this, but I really don't want to. Because that's what it's going to be when it's extended. And... No, it's supposed to be this. Here, I'll just set all these up. This is just going to make it easier for me. And now I just need to connect everything to it, because I got everything set up. And there we go, we've now have our at least one row of memory set up for our screen. And I have noticed that I've apparently built my screen one block too low, and I will show you how to fix that in a little bit. And actually, I'm probably going to have my own video going over, and have a whole other video going over how to fix it, because I do know how to fix that, and it's not going to be lifting this entire thing up. So now we have basically the entire screen system set up. And now we're going to need to deal with a couple of basic problems. Right now we do have this converted into draw and erase commands, but we need to have a control system set up to determine whether or not we're going into a draw command, or whether or not we're going to be going into an erase command. I have a way of setting this up. So the way this is going to work is, first off, I'm going to break every single one of these blocks, because this is going to control the draw command. And here we go. This is going to be a little bit out there, but piston's down here, and this is just going to be a piston AND gate. Nothing fancy really, just it's sort of an odd way of doing a piston AND gate, and yeah. Almost. There we go, finally. So now I'm just going to connect all these up. And yeah. And this is where our draw command will come from, if I can actually get out of here. So I'll just sort of push this off to the side for now. And now, what I need is I need sand. Yeah, I told you, it's going to be a little bit of a weird way of setting it up. Where is it? There's sand. So now I need 2 layers of sand here. And it might seem weird, like, why don't I just, set it up so I don't need the sand? And really the reason for that is because it will screw up the pistons, or will react weird to the redstone power, and this fixes it. And this is our draw command. We send power here, it's going to draw. Well, if I send power here and add a repeater, and that still doesn't make it. That's too bad, really. Oh well. There's our draw command. And now we need the erase command. And believe it or not, this is going to be controlled by the same thing. I know, seems weird, but trust me, this is going to work. I've done this before. So I'm trying to figure out where I put this to not screw everything up. I think this doesn't screw everything up. In fact, I'm pretty sure it doesn't. But, now, the way the erase command is going to work is just going to be the inverse of the draw command, because if you're not drawing, you're erasing, according to this theory. And this won't be the official erase command. The official erase command will... Well, this is sort of like... How should I say this? This is a system that... This erases the pixels when we draw, so... Oh... I know, this is a little tricky to explain. So we have sort of like the official erase command, which erases everything on the screen, and the unofficial erase command, which sort of, it's sort of... Why is this not working? Hang on. Oh. Wait. Okay, I'm not just gonna worry about that in a second. I'm busy explaining this right now. We sort of like have the erase command that just erases the whole screen, and this other erase command, which is sort of like whenever we draw, it erases the pixels that we don't need. And that's what this erase command is. This gets rid of the pixels we don't need. And yeah. And why is this doing this? This is odd. I'm pretty sure this shouldn't be happening, but I guess we'll find out together. What in the world is going wrong with this? So now, this is the base state of our erase command. So now everything by default will be held, and it's going to erase all the pixels we don't need when we draw. So if we draw, all of these pistons should retract. And they do. Perfect. Granted, it is a bit slow, but that just sort of comes with it. And I think that's just going to conclude this video. Going to just sort of redo these in a way that it's a bit smaller, because one of my viewers was kind enough to point out how I can make this a bit smaller, and that's going to fix the screen issue. So yeah, thank you. See you in the next video. Hey everyone, it's Benny here, and in this video I'm just going to go over how we can fix this issue, where this thing is sort of, you know, in the way of the screen, and that's really bad. But first, before I do that, I'd like to make a small revision to the last video because I made a bit of an error. I'm sorry. This wire cannot go right here because it will interfere with the pistons because they're right there, like that. And yeah, I discovered that when I was playing around with this, and I'm sorry for all the for all the trouble. But that's okay, because right now I did go ahead, and the only other thing I did change other than moving this whole thing back one is I added a repeater here. And the reason is that for the time being, this is simple enough that we can use this, even though it's technically not the erase command, as the erase command. So we do technically have our draw and erase commands already set up for us. So that's good. I've tested it and it does work. So if you followed along perfectly, it should work for you. Now, that out of the way, let's start building our smaller version of this. Right now I destroyed basically the entire top half, the bottom half, pretty much just how I left it. And is it getting darker? Yeah, okay, that's what the issue is. Okay, I'm sorry. Now, here's what we're going to do. First off, we're going to break these entirely. We no longer will need these in this new design. Oh, and I'd like to give a special shout out to, well, actually, there's a person who brought up to me that this could be made smaller, and he told me about all these things that could be made smaller and faster. I am not going to shout out his name because he did delete his comment, and I'm not entirely sure what that means, and I don't want to do that if he really doesn't want me to. So that's why I'm not doing it. And if you're watching this and you do want me to, then just tell me. Yeah, and I'll be happy to give you a shout out, because if you hadn't brought this up to me, I probably would be in the middle of just redoing this whole thing right now. But yeah, so it wasn't my ingenuity that taught me how to fix it. It was him. And thank you very much. But now, what we're going to do is we're going to do like this. It's going to be the new bottom system. And now, we're going to do like this. And this is going to be the new way of doing this, because now we don't need to do the repeater there. And since we no longer need the repeater here with the system, we can just do the back and forth system right here. That means the AND gate can be right here, the output can be right here, and our control wire can be right here. And as you can see, this is just made our system a whole bunch smaller, and in theory faster. So yeah, let's go ahead and select this and start tiling it, or stacking it. Same difference, really. But oh well. There we go. 1, 2. Not really sure why I have a wooden sword in my inventory, but oh well, I'm sure I had a good reason at some point. Stack 7. And apparently I've selected more than I bargained for. And oh yeah, I did, actually. So now, stack 7, and there we go, we have it all set up. We actually don't need those repeaters here either. So I can go ahead and get rid of those, just to save myself a tiny bit of time. Oh, that did not take that. I'm sorry, I'm having some serious issues stacking this, but oh well. They will all be gone momentarily. So that, take step 1 and step 2. And now if I stack There we go. There we go. There we go. So now let's test out our new system. 1, 2. Good. If I use fill. Where's my left? There he is. Perfect. It is working absolutely perfectly. And should it be only free ticks to get through? At most? This is free ticks, and that's pretty good, all things considered. I wonder if I select fill in this. Just interesting animation. So now let's go ahead and test our screen since we have this set up now. Well, our torches that will go into the screen anyways. Fit draw, since everything is selected, and actually I'll make this a bit more interesting. So just gonna select these three, gonna hit draw, and it has drawn those 3 pixels to the screen, and it's remembering them. Perfect. To hit my temporary erase command, it works. There we go. So our system works, and there we go. So thank you. Hopefully this wasn't too severe of a video or anything. So thank you. See you all in the next video. And I'm not going to bother doing this one because I don't need to. You can if you want. I'm not going to bother. Thanks. See you in the next video.